Hi, hello everyone, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today we have kind of all three. I'm going to be reading and then discussing, not really reviewing, I guess. I think I said this last week. So I'll be reading and then I'll be discussing, full spoilers, 2 chapters of The Wandering Inn. Today's chapters are 1.29 and 1.3030. I have absolutely no idea what's in any of these chapters, and it's been a really long time since we had some time with Erin, because the last week's chapters were both other POVs. So I'm really excited to get back to Erin. I want to see what's going on in the town. And I feel like when I looked, we'll look while we talk. I feel like when I looked at the table of contents for volume 1, there was only 40 something. Oh, okay. No, it's 60 something. So I was like, oh, I'm halfway through, but I'm not halfway through. I'm almost finished, but I'm not. I'm almost halfway through. So next week will be the halfway point for volume 1. This week, one of the chapters is like 7,000 words, and then the other one, I wonder if I've got it here actually. So we'll get it up. We'll get it up. We'll get the word count up. So this week, I think that most weeks I can handle between 10 and 15,000. So this week's ones are 13,500 words between the two. So I can read that within an hour and also make this video. So let's get straight into things. We're going to read chapter 29 right now. Okay, so that's chapter 29 done. And it's quite funny because I was saying that I was looking forward to a return to Erin, spending more time with Erin, but it was way more Ant stuff again. Obviously we did have some Erin POV in this chapter, but it felt like it was actually more Ant related stuff. However, I love the Ant stuff, so I feel like there's no downside to having more Ant stuff and more Erin stuff. But I think that we need to kind of... Do we talk about the whole chapter? Yes, but I think we need to talk about the fact that at the end, it seems like Klivich is dead or dying, and we know that there's no potion, and there's something going on with the Queen, who's like, she doesn't believe what's happening, she's feeling pain. So, I've just noticed also, my cat was sitting on my lap and just dribbled all over me like an absolute nightmare. So apologies for the state of my jumper. But so obviously I'm upset about this because Klivich is like one of my favourite characters in The Wandering Inn. It's probably my favourite, I was about to say my favourite non-POV character, but he's had 2 POV chapters, and one of those POV chapters was the previous chapter. And that's definitely a way that a lot of writers will use to get you to care more when a character dies, by killing them off after you get to spend a bit of time with them. So I do hope that he's not dead. We don't see him explicitly die on page in chapter 29, but I'm sure I'll find out in a second when I read chapter 30. But I don't want him to be dead because I think he's great. But I am really enjoying the whole Ant storyline and how learning chess is enabling them to level up and gain tactician levels, and because they're gaining tactician levels, they're starting to like gain sentience or whatever. Like that's really interesting, and I would like to know more about that. Again, next chapter coming up. This was a really long one, right? I say really long. One of the longer ones in book 1, I think. Oh no, there's loads of massively long ones. I don't know what I'm talking about. Actually, it's one of the longer ones I have read. So there's only a couple that are over 7,000 in the first half that I'm reading now. So this is a nice long one, but it was a really quick and breezy read that I really enjoyed, as I enjoy most of the Wandering Inn chapters. In fact, there's not been one that I haven't enjoyed. No, there's not one that I haven't enjoyed at all. I've enjoyed all of them, And while sometimes I'm like, I've got to sit down and record a Wandering In video, but the second I sit down, I have a good time. I think a lot of it is like the anticipation of I'm going to be sitting down for an hour and blah blah blah, which is one of the reasons I'm looking forward to getting to Volume 2, so I can listen to the audiobooks. So for my chapters, when we get to Volume 2, maybe you'll be seeing me taking long walks and stuff while I listen to the chapters, and I will talk to you guys like on the beach or in a forest or something mad. So that would be fun. Let's move on to chapter 30, because I feel like the big thing that we got from chapter 29 is a lot of questions, and I would like some answers, and I'm hoping that those are going to be in chapter 30. So I will speak to you when I finish reading. Right, so we're back. I moved the camera so you could see the cat a little bit. I've just finished chapter 30. I know everyone loves Barry, so I thought he could be the star of the final recap here. So, yeah, just finished chapter 30. And this was a really, really good chapter. And I often say that I think that, this week's chapters is the best set of chapters, etc., etc. But I actually do think that 29 and 30 are the best chapters that I've read so far. And I think it's like, I don't think it's a long shot. I don't think it's close, you know. We've got the action and the ant stuff in chapter 29. And then 30, we have the fallout from Klivitch's death. And, like, he's actually dead. Like, that's it. That character that I really liked and cared about and grew to really love is dead. And this is probably, I mean, like, if you added up all the words that I've read so far, it's probably longer than some books. And, like, some big books, like, I'm not talking, like, you know, novellas or whatever, like, real-ass books. Like, this is a 600-page sci-fi novel, and is probably longer than that in word count by now. So, you know, I've had that time to grow like for Klivitch and to really, really appreciate his character and what he brings to the story. This chapter was a tough one because it confirms basically straight away that he is dead. And I kind of thought he wasn't when I was reading 29. Like, that was my little like, in the back of my head, I was like, don't think this guy's dead. Like, I don't actually think he's dead. But he's real dead. So that's a shame. And I'm sad about that, honestly. Somebody put in the comments like, this still hits hard. I cried twice during this chapter. And, like, I didn't cry, but I definitely thought, like, you know, I wish this character wasn't dead. And they weren't a massive character. Yes, they had a couple of POVs, but, like, I don't know. I think they're a big part of the opening of the story, and I think that they're a big part of what brings Erin into the fantasy world, into Liscor, or Liscorian society, is her encounter with Klivitch. So, yeah. Relk, which is quite funny because I think that over time I've liked Relk less and less and less and less. But that's intentional, I think, by Pirate Arbor, is to kind of engender to him originally, but then, like, push him away from you as you realise the kind of person that he is. So, yeah, I think that's kind of how I'm feeling on the whole Relk front. And this episode, this chapter, definitely kind of cemented that feeling, because a lot of them are, like, blaming Erin for Klivitch dying, and, like, I don't know, victim blaming's always bad, but in this case it seems particularly bad, maybe because we're on Erin's side. The creation of a new free Antinium, or sentient, or whatever, a new... I think sentient's probably the right term, of a new sentient Antinium in Pawn, who's named himself after a chess piece, I really, really liked. I could kind of see it coming, but I almost thought that we were going to have a lot of these free Antinium. Like, because they're talking about how like there's like 1,500 of them in the hive that have learned chess, and so it feels like to me, I was like, well, surely we're going to see more than those 1,500. You might be able to see. I don't know if you can see that he's dribbling. This is the proof that it wasn't me spilling coffee down myself or something. But yeah, so I thought we were going to get a lot of these free Antinium, and I kind of was thinking that we might end with Klivich still alive, but like free male Antinium almost. And the thing that I was also kind of thinking was that we would see the Antinium like join the like crew at the inn, and there's a few reasons for that. One, it kind of felt inevitable that we would get an Antinium worker in the inn, because Erin can't do it all by herself. But the other thing that feels kind of inevitable about that is that at the bottom of every chapter there's a little picture of an Antinium cleaning a glass. So I guess that advertisement for merch has kind of mildly spoiled me on Wandering In stuff. But I feel like we're basically there now. It'd be interesting to see if Pawn is going to kind of act as like how Klivich did, as like a surrogate queen almost, like a leader for this small group of these 100 Antinium, and maybe they're going to work in the inn or live in the inn or live nearby or something like that. That'd be interesting. We need to also see, the thing that we haven't seen in a while is what's going on with the dungeon that the Antinium found. I assume we're going to get back to that soon, although, you know, the secret couldn't have died with Klivich and the worker, who was possibly one of the workers that went on the trip to the Wandering Inn. It feels like also that Rags and her goblin friends might be possibly joining the Wandering Inn crew, like the staff of the inn, or like the main cast, as it were. Rags, I feel, the girl goblin, I feel is really already kind of a main character, because she's had a few POV sections in other people's chapters. Be interested to see if there is a full chapter from her POV. I'd like to read that. So, yeah, like, great set of chapters this week. Genuinely really good. Really enjoyed them. Well, enjoyed, is that the right term when one of your favourite characters dies? I don't know. But I liked reading them, even if I didn't like the content, because they made me sad. Let's check out the word counter to see what I expect we will be reading next week. So, chapters 31 and 32 are 5,800 and 6,500 words. So that'll take me over the 10,000 limit. The next chapter is almost 10,000 words. So don't know if I will be able to read 3 next week. Normally, I think if I had like some 5,000 ones, I might read 3, 5, 6s. But these are, that next one being a 10,000 one, I'll probably won't be able to catch that. But because as I've said before, I do read in my lunch hour, and while I am a fast reader, I do waffle a lot when I talk on YouTube. So there's only so much time that I can give to the reading, because I know I'm going to waffle on, and then I'll need to very quickly get the edit started and start it rendering before I get back to work. So at the end of the day, I hope you enjoyed this time with the cat. If you liked the video, please do go ahead and like it. If you'd like to talk to me about The Wandering Inn, please, no future spoilers. This is my first time reading. Speaking of first time reading, if you're a fan of Robert Jordan's Eye of the World, the first book in the Wheel of Time series, or if you're a fan of the Wheel of Time in general, you can catch my review as a first time reader of the first book in the series, The Eye of the World, on the channel right now, posted yesterday. There's going to be a full spoiler discussion of it with one of my BookTube friends, and that will all be on the channel, so please do keep an eye on. Wandering In next week will be the same day, same time, 5 PM UK time next Thursday. If you would like to subscribe, I would love to have you. and it would be great to get more people joining our community. If it's the whole channel community that's talking about everything that I'm reading, all under what you're reading with me as well in the comments, of course. Or if you're just going to be part of this Wandering In series, I'm absolutely happy however you want to come to the channel. And I'd love it if you subscribed. And if you are a full channel viewer, so you watch everything, tomorrow is going to be my weekly update. So that will be me telling you guys what I read this week, what I'm planning on reading next week, and also the videos that I'm going to be making this week and next week on the channel. So if you're interested in that, then make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you tomorrow.